software, Sonic 1, and create the bundle pack for that 149 price point. And as Tom started to explain, I saw Nakayama-san's face sort of turning white and getting angry, and he stood up and said, we make money from software because we don't make money really from hardware. So why we give away the best software away? And he kicked the chair and literally ran to the door.
And I thought, well, that's the end of my career. And he turned at the door and he said, well, I hired you to build the company and take market share from Nintendo, and if this is what you think you have to do, go ahead and do it. So he supported our plan 100%, and to his credit, I think, to his great credit, because he could have easily said no. And because of his allowing us to do that, we then went on to really dramatically take share of market away from Nintendo in the next year.
The concept of bundling in our industry, i.e. of putting in software with the hardware to drive accelerated sales rates or to forestall a price drop, is a time-honored tradition, if you will. What Tom Kalinske did in 1991 here with the Genesis, by putting Sonic in there, a AAA piece of software, kind of broke the mold, if you will, from what had previously happened, where the less desirable software had been packaged in because it was cheaper and more effective to be able to push that through rather than give away what was seen to be high profit margin software.
People were buying Sega consoles simply to play Sonic, and with Sonic proving to be a huge success, it was inevitable that a sequel should follow.
When we completed Sonic 1, which was originally developed in Japan, we realized that the real battlefield against Nintendo is the United States. Therefore, we brought the team to Palo Alto, California, and added some American resources and started to create Sonic game. And that really made much better, closer collaboration between the Sonic team and the US marketing team.
After Sonic 1, we wanted Sonic to continue to grow. We managed his career, much like you would manage the career of a famous actor. And so what was important is that, first of all, we grew Sonic's world, and we introduced a new character by the name of Tails, so Sonic had a friend. And then we also continued to flesh out his Bibles and flesh out his backstory. We were much more involved in Sonic 2, but that said, the Sonic team really did drive the design of Sonic 2 as well. Al Nelson and I were a part of making sure that the new characters that were designed fit within the entire world. But the game was definitely driven, conceived of, and developed by the Sonic team. And they did a beautiful job as well.
With Sonic 2 ready for release, Sega devised an incredibly clever piece of marketing, turning Sonic into a worldwide media sensation, and yet again improving sales of the Genesis, thanks to the aptly named Sonic Tuesday.
Sonic Tuesday was an industry first, and we're proud of it. It was one of the first worldwide launches, if not the first worldwide launch.
There was a whole lot of logistics involved in making sure that we had all the millions of Sonics delivered to every single retail outlet and making them hold it until Sonic Tuesday. And I remember talking with the president of some of the air freight companies we were using, and they were pulling their hair out and helping us manage this process of air shipping to every retail store and truck shipping to every retail store in America to make sure the product all arrived the same moment so that it could be at retail that next morning.
Never before for a home video game had we witnessed the worldwide scenes of people lining up outside shops in the driving rain to take advantage of midnight openings, which back then was a true first for the video game industry. Sonic Tuesday was responsible for a major step up for the video game industry, a new PR and marketing benchmark that other publishers had to follow. Sonic 1 and 2 had been incredible hits and were just being played and played by the ever-growing fan base. Everyone just seemed to love Sonic, and while Sonic's popularity continued to rise, Sega continued to produce and release further games to add to the franchise. Sonic fans were appearing everywhere, and with it a competitive streak, as fans were eager to prove who was the very best amongst their friends.
Everything we did was with this one goal in mind, to make Sonic a very, very strong brand, a preeminent brand in the video game industry, and also for kids' products in general. I believe that it was the first time anybody dared put their lead product in with the hardware. It was the first time there was TV shows developed around a character. I think it was the first time there were Happy Meal promotions where we sold 50 million Happy Meals with Sonic characters in it. I think it was the first time a character was in the Macy's Day Parade, you know, from a video game. So I think there were a lot of firsts that we did. And certainly it was the first time anybody made fun of their main competitor in television advertising and kind of ridiculed their main competitor in television advertising.
Then in 1998, Sonic's move into 3D was a big success thanks to Sonic Adventure on the Sega Dreamcast.
そうですね、この20年間の歴史の中で、一つの大きなターニングポイントっていうのが1998年のソニックアドベンチャーだったと思います。それまでメガドライブのドット絵のソニックが 3D になって、で単にそれが 3D になるだけではなくて、キャラクターとして初めて声を喋って、キャラクターが一体どんな気持ちでどういう目的で敵と戦うのかという、そういうドラマ的な部分が初めてこうゲームの中に加わったのがソニックアドベンチャーでして、喋らなかったメガドライブのソニックがこう初めてキャラクターとしてこう皆さんにこう初めてそのキャラクター性を伝えられた。
This no longer really was purely Sonic on a tight rail going up and down across mountains and terrains. There was this magnificent world now that surrounded, because of the power of the hardware, that surrounded Sonic and his friends.
Yeah. やっぱり当時の16ビット機から、ドリームキャストの方の新しいハードで、展開する新しいゲームということで、やっぱそのハードの性能が上がることで、表現できること自体もやっぱりすごく大きく飛躍するので、それを見た目デザインの方でどう表現していくかっていうところで、そのキャラクターの見た目の変化によるインパクトっていうのと、そうですね、実際のその表現力がアップした部分で各キャラクターのアクション性をいかに大きくカメラが引いたり寄ったりした時でも見せることができるかっていうところが、スムーズに行えるように調整しながら制作しました。
With Sonic's move into 3D a success, more titles followed. The development team always challenged with the need to raise the benchmark of each game, right the way through to recent titles such as Sonic Colors.
ソニックカラーズで初のディレクターという、大役をいただいて、どうやって、お客様に喜んでいただけるような、ソニックの新しいゲームを作っていこうかというふうに考えたんですけれども、そうはいえうちのソニックチームはもうソニックを作る優秀なスタッフが揃っているので、私よりもソニックに対しては、もうベテラン揃いのチームであるというところで、ソニックを作ること自体はもう基本的に、スタッフのみんなに任せようというふうに私は考えました。そして私自身は、それを、よりハイスピードアクションの特にアクション部分、プラットフォームアクション部分にフォーカスしていくように全体をこう誘導していくような立ち回りをしようというふうに意識して、作っていこうというふうに、考えてました。
The music of Sonic still commands a steadily growing fan base that has been growing some truly wonderful music with contributing musicians that each brought their own style to the Sonic franchise.
ソニックの長い歴史の中でいろんな楽曲がありました。で、その中で好きな曲とか自信のある曲を1曲あげろって言われてもなかなかこれは難しい話で、そうですね、トータルで言ったらもう100曲以上は多分